we are doing a team a day in the NFL from a certain division. Today, Paulie, that division is the NFC North. That team happens to be the Green Bay Packers. And at DraftKings, to win the Super Bowl, they are 65-1, 30-1 to win the conference, 4-1 to win their division. When's the last time you could say that about Green Bay in this division? Their win total is 7.5. Over is -120. If you like them a lot this year, the alternate win total is 8.5 plus 165. If you think Love's going to stink and they're no good, under 6.5 is plus 150. Their division wins at DraftKings 2.5, over -205. They can't go 3-3. I know you got to pay juice here.
That is such a good game to start the season, week 1 against the Bears.
I agree.
Because whoever, if Fields looks great, if Love looks good, it's like, I told you so, and then start the hype train, right?
They are still, as of this morning, plus 180 to make the playoffs. I want to get your thoughts, first of all, on this team, because I got a lot of bets involved.
Yes. Well, as far as a division, it's an intriguing division, and it's fun to talk about, and Mike North will weigh in tomorrow on the Bears. Steve Mackin and his power ratings. Detroit 11. Can they do it? Can they live up to the hype? Or are they going to disappoint? Minnesota 15. Won 13 games last year. Packers 21. Bears 23. In our guide, 3 different teams were picked to win the division. No one picked the Bears. But with Green Bay, it's all about Love. And 8-9 last year, which was a big disappointment, and a lot of people pointing the finger at Rodgers. And we'll also find out what kind of coach LaFleur is as well. Shaky defense last year, but also Rodgers having a down year also led to the 8-9 season as well, and some frustrating losses, considering they were in the playoffs if they beat the Lions on the Sunday night game, and the Lions played spoiler as well. To me, it's hard to get a read on this team because I don't know what Love's going to bring to the table, and he might be a very good quarterback, and they could surprise a lot of people. I think they are absolutely mispriced. To what you've said all summer, how can they have worse odds than the Bears when the Bears won 3 games? And Fields was the most sacked quarterback, hasn't showed anything in terms of being a passer, and the Bears had a terrible defense. And are the Bears really going to go from 3 wins to 8 wins? Mm-hmm. So I also wouldn't be surprised if the Packers are right there with the Vikings in terms of the record when it's all said and done also. But as we said earlier, how can, at least at Circa, how can the Bears and the Vikings have the same odds to win the Super Bowl, and the Lions are as low as 16-1? They've covered 9 in a row against the Rams. They've covered 4 in a row at home against the Bears. Concerns about the defense, they were 14th in points per game. And also, this is a juicy nugget from our guide. They're 13-2 ATS after playing the Bears going back. So I will sit this one out. I just think they're not getting enough respect, and it could be a sleeper. But to me, the whole key to the season's Love. And I don't know what he's going to be, what kind of quarterback he's going to be.
Have you played the win total yet?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
No. I have Bears under. I took Lions under.
Okay. So some of the rankings, and we'll use Pro Football Focus here. They grade up. This is going into the season. Offensive line, they have 8th. Last year, they had them 5th going into the season. Big question mark here, obviously, with Bakhtiari and how long he can play this year. Zach Tom graded out extremely high last year at PFF, but he's going to go from playing left tackle now over to right tackle, where he only had 84 snaps last year. This is a note from Warren Sharp's website. The offensive line returns with all 5 starters after finishing in the top 10 of both ESPN's pass rush win rate and run block win rate, and allowing the second lowest pressure rate. They did that, and Bakhtiari missed at least a third of the season. They have their projections here have them to face the easiest schedule in terms of opposing pass rush, including opening the season against the 2 teams with the lowest pressure rate of 2022. So Jordan Love, in theory, is going to have plenty of time to operate there once he gets the ball in his hands and to make some plays. Defensive line, listen to this now. This is what's really odd to me. And there are a couple of factors. I get that. I'll run that down. But defensive line, they put 19th on Green Bay going into the year. This time last year, 3rd. Okay, well, I get it. Rashawn Gary's coming back from the ACL. Looks good in camp. First-round picks in 2022 and 2023 with Devontae Wyatt and Lucas Van Ness. Linebackers, they have them ranked 17th. They were 4th last year. How? Former first-round pick Quay Walker, good in coverage, not so much versus the run. Secondary, 16th this year, 4th a year ago. And that's despite having most of the same players back, and Jair Alexander is their best cornerback the last 3 years combined. Running backs are 6th, wide receivers 27th, and they were 17th in DVOA last year. So there are a bunch of reasons for that possibly, right? Was Pro Football Focus too high last year on Green Bay? Possibly. Did a lot of their players not live up to the hype or to where their career numbers suggested? Yeah, probably a little bit of that, but they can't get back to that range that they were. Are they too low this year? I think absolutely there's a balance here. They were maybe a little bit too high on the team last year, but too low on the players this year. And is it factored in, like, because Aaron Rodgers is no longer with the team, can nobody on the team still play? Is nobody any good? Like, you had this team with all their units top 5 or top 10 with the exception of wide receivers last year. Amazing to me. And now everybody wants to give up on them. SOS, middle of the pack, they play in 5 primetime games. But this, again, I need to point this out now and run down all the numbers with Aaron Rodgers. Last year, career low in passing yards while playing a full season. That was his 13th full season in the NFL. Tied for the second fewest touchdown passes in a full season, 26. He had 25 in 2018. Second most INTs in a single season for Rodgers. He only threw for more in his very first year as a starter. He had 12 a year ago. 6.8 yards per attempt. Second lowest in his career. His career average is 7.7. A 91.1 rating. Lowest of his career. Not close. Career average 103.6. 39.3 quarterback rating. By far and away his lowest/worst number of his career. 52.5 was the previous low. I think Love's going to be at least decent, maybe good, or maybe better than that. I will be surprised if Jordan Love comes out there and he's a disaster this year. I liked what I saw in very small sample sizes last year. The team has been like glowing about this guy. I know you kind of have to do that. And then they came out and said, well, we're going to know about halfway through this season what we have, and everybody freaked out. Well, again, as I said like 3 weeks ago, you can understand that comment, right? Because they've never really seen him play anything close to a full season as the quarterback. Totally fair comment. I bet this team, I cannot believe we're sitting here today and the win total is still 7.5. Oh. Yeah, you got to pay minus 120. I bet the win total over. I bet this team to make the playoffs at plus 190. That was one of the first bets that I made this summer. And I took a little bit because I missed the best number. I missed 5 to 1, but I took a little bit at 4 to 1 to win the division with Green Bay. I think there's talent pretty much all across the board on this team. And as long as he can avoid being a disaster, I think they're going to win 8, 9, 10 games, be in the mix, not only for the playoffs, but to win this division.
Wow.
Didn't you talk to a guy who you've known for a long time, a bettor, who said his favorite bet on the board is Green Bay over the win total? Wasn't that this weekend? Or do I have that mixed up with another team?
No, you are correct.
Yeah, he told you that?
He's been money for years with his win totals.
Yeah.
And that was, yep.
I think the division's absolutely manageable. Again, the division wins at DraftKings is 2.5. You got to lay some serious juice there. It's a minus $2. But at the Bears, at the Falcons, both road games to begin, obviously. They come back home for Saints and Lions. And week 5, out here in Las Vegas against the Raiders. Again, that's going to be 65-35 Packers fans?
Oh, more than that.
More than that? Okay.
Yeah. Be a rough week for people who work in this industry. They tip 10%. Yeah, in any event, that they're going to take over, absolutely. Oh, God. Packer fans coming to Las Vegas?
Uh-huh.
Oh. And if the Raiders are 1-4 in that point?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Look what happened yesterday. It's all 49er fans.
Look at the middle of the schedule. It's at Denver. They come back home. They get the Vikings and Rams at home. At Pittsburgh. Won't be easy, obviously. Chargers at home at the Lions. They do play the Chiefs back end. But I think you kind of have to like the way it breaks for them, because they'll get the Chiefs at home in a Sunday night game, at the Giants in a Monday nighter. They will host the Buccaneers. They'll play at Carolina. They'll play at Minnesota, and they get the Bears in the final week of the regular season at home.
Very good. It's a fun division. Lions hype, Bears hype, polarizing quarterback, Vikings and PU. They stink, right? Won 13 games. They're going to be better on defense. What do people think of the Vikings? Can the Packers surprise people? very intriguing division, and highlighted by that Week 1 game with Green Bay going to Chicago.
And by the way, I have to give it up for VSiN host Femi Abemefe in the Pro Football Betting Guide. This is all the way back in June. I thought he made a terrific case for Matt LaFleur to win Coach of the Year.
Uh-huh.
He was 20-1 back then. I've seen him dip as low as 10-1. Again, if all these things come together and it hits like that, and if they would win 10 games, the media loves Lambeau Field. They love Green Bay. They love this organization. If LaFleur can make it work with Jordan Love, there's an absolutely great path for him to win Coach of the Year. 15-1 this morning at DraftKings. I think I saw as high as 18-1, but as low as 10-1 again when I was looking at different books over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's going to be, no Rodgers, Jordan Love, okay. And also, what about that angle of the players were sick and tired of his act?
Yes.
And now they get rid of him.
See that.
His boys are no longer there, right? Lazard, Cobb, they went with him to the Jets. So it's like, fine, we finally got this guy out of the locker room. Now we can actually go out there and be a little bit better. Got rid of the poison.
Visit VSiN.com to get current odds, listen for free, find showtimes, and download VSiN sports betting podcasts.